Hello, I'm Theodore Henry. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. In today's program, we look at a new approach to garbage collection, and on this Valentine's Day, we put the spotlight on a loving relationship between a mother and her child. So don't go away. We'll be right back after the news.
Some marina, you know. Yeah?
Yeah, man, I have the package 60,000.
60,000.
Yeah.
How much I want?
Yeah, man, 2 bays I want, man.
Yeah, man, no one else.
5 grand,
Yeah, man. Same. Alright,
What one, cat?
you don't know, I sit downtown the other day there.
Oh.
All the brethren, them man, we buy and sell marina. One of them I sell a 6-pack for $1,000, and the next one I sell one for $200.
So where am I?
Buy 5 of them for $1,000. Think them can't rob me.
So Uncle Fancy is the same $1,000 you would spend to get the 6? Seriously?
Tell them again now my math brains.
Math cone.
Math count.
Sponsored by the Ministry of Education.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, February 14. 84 public entities are to be merged, closed, or divested as part of government's ongoing rationalization of the public sector. Finance Minister Audley Shaw made the disclosure on Friday.
And it's not a plan for anybody to be nervous about, because if the plan is implemented in a productive way, as we are doing in this case, this is a win-win for everybody, including more efficient governance.
Minister Shaw was speaking at the contract signing to divest the operations of Caymanas Trek Limited CTL to Supreme Ventures Limited SVL. With the divestment, government will be guaranteed a minimum rent of over $39 million per annum, with 3 years being paid up front. Supreme Ventures will also provide $42 million to the Jamaica Racing Commission to assist in development of the sport. The official handover of the racetrack will take place on March 7, at which time redundancy packages amounting to $200 million will be issued to workers, most of whom will be re-employed by the new operators. The Transport Authority and the police are currently enforcing legal provisions mandating the removal of tint from public passenger vehicles. The move follows instructions from the Prime Minister and is in response to recent reports of women and children being abducted by perpetrators posing as taxi operators. Details of the regulations were outlined during a press conference on Monday.
For motor cars, no tint will be allowed on the back windscreen of the motor vehicle. No tint will be allowed on the 2 front doors, that is the driver's door or glass, and that of the passenger. No tint will be allowed on the windscreen of the motor car except for that 6-inch visor from the top.
For the 2 back doors, only a 30% grade of tinting will be allowed for motor cars. On coaster buses, no tint will be allowed on the back glass, the 2 immediate panes of glass at the side of the vehicle, driver door, or the passenger door where the conductor operates. Only 70% inward view will be allowed for windows on either side of the vehicle and a 9-inch visor for the windscreen of the coaster bus. A similar requirement is in effect for minibuses, except that the windscreen visor will be 6 inches. Taxis that have a manufacturer's tint will be given a 12-month grace period to become regularized if testing shows that their vehicles don't meet the required standard. In the meantime, the Transport Authority says it has received the full support of bus and taxi operators for the tint removal measures. Government will be signing a financing agreement with China Exim Bank this week for the construction of the Southeast Coastal Highway project, expected to cost approximately $384 million. The signing will headline a week-long visit to China by the Ministers of Finance, Transport and Economic Growth and Job Creation. They are accompanied by a team of special and technical advisors, including Chief Technical Advisor to the Finance Minister, Senator Orbin Hill. During the week-long visit, the team is expected to pay courtesy calls on China's Minister of Finance and Minister of Transport. Several business meetings have also been scheduled between the China Development Bank, the China Exim Bank, China Construction Company, China Harbor Engineering Company, Power China and China LAC Cooperation Fund, and Jiquan Iron and Steel Company. The meetings are aimed at advancing the economic cooperation between Jamaica and China. The National Public Health Laboratory in Kingston has received new equipment expected to boost its capacity to test for the Zika and chikungunya viruses by enabling the lab to better analyze blood samples. The real-time polymerase chain reaction PCR machine was donated by the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO. It's valued at approximately $6.4 million. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton thanked PAHO for the gift and for maintaining a strong relationship with Jamaica.
It signifies to me an important partnership, a critical partnership, and indeed it is a manifestation of how we have to tackle the challenges that the world has to confront in public health.
As part of PAHO's assistance, 2 National Public Health Laboratory technicians are on a 2-week training course in Brazil. And finally, government will be spending $641 million this fiscal year to provide additional classroom spaces in schools. The allocation will help the continued thrust to end the shift system in schools. Expansion projects will take place at primary and high schools. The 2017-2018 estimates of expenditure reveals that $100 million will also be spent to procure equipment for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM academies. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thank you for watching.
Nicky baby, come here. You understand, so I have to send you guy your auntie so you can go to school and turn out better than me.
When I go be night time. Piggy, come finish your work.
If you or anyone you know has been a victim of human trafficking, call 811 or 1-888-PROTECT. Be wise. Open your eyes. Spot them. Stop them. A message brought to you by the National Task Force Against Trafficking in Persons.
The National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, with the help of the Japanese government, is rolling out a new approach to garbage collection. Let's find out more.
The National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, has been partnering with the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, since 2004. Over this 12-year period, 30 employees from the NSWMA have been to Japan, where they received training in areas that included composting, managing recycling facilities, landfill management techniques, sustainable solid waste for CARICOM countries, sustainable waste management for Caribbean islands, solid waste management A, which consists of basic introductory courses, and Solid Waste Management B, which consists of advanced courses. Beneficiaries on return submit a report and a proposal on the subject matter for funding by JICA under their follow-up cooperation facility. One such project is the Solid Waste Reduction through Waste Separation, Waste Diversion and Recycling Pilot Project.
The solid waste reduction through waste separation, waste diversion and recycling pilot project supports one of the main mandates of the National Solid Waste Management Authority, that is to implement programs that will effect behavioral change. So we welcome this initiative. For the next 6 months, the pilot project will be in 3 communities, namely Caribbean Estates and Caymanas Country Club Estates in St. Catherine and Wellington Town in Kingston. The project is estimated to be about $7 million, of which $6.7 million is being funded by the government of Japan through the Jamaica International Cooperation Agency, JICA, and as such we are very grateful for this. In the coming months, we will be meeting with residents, hosting community meetings, attending the Citizens Association meetings, and basically encouraging persons to separate their plastic containers, their cardboards and cans from their regular household waste. So we will be asking residents to take out these items, and a separate truck will come and do the collection, and we will give these items to a third-party companies. the learnings from this pilot project will assist the authority to develop policies and plans to guide and to help us to better manage solid waste and to get residents to buy into the concept of separating their plastic containers, their cans, and also cardboards from their regular household waste. So at the end of the project, we will be in a much better position to determine behavior and attitude towards separation at source, how to really convince and to influence persons, residents, to separate these items from their regular household items.
On behalf of JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency, I am pleased that NSWMA holds this pilot project of waste reduction through waste separation, waste diversion, and recycling. This project is planned by a senior planning officer of NSWMA who had participated in JICA training in Japan titled Sustainable Solid Waste Management for CARICOM countries. After he returned from Japan, he planned it based on what he'd learned in Japan. I am happy that JICA can assist this project and the JICA follow-up cooperation program. Although the amount is not bigger than 6.5 million Jamaican dollars. JICA has been offering several training programs to NSWMA since 1980s. So far about 30 NSWMA staff had participated in these JICA training programs.
This is a good government initiative based on a sponsorship from the Japanese government. It has allowed us to be one of the pilot projects, and we, the citizens and the residents of Caymanas, are grateful for this project because it allows us to sort our garbage, especially with the PET bottles. These are a continuous growing source of concern for our garbage collection with regards to blocking our drains and causing havoc on sea life. NSWMA Solid Waste Management has given us the bags so that it will encourage residents to carry out their bottles and put them in a central area that will be collected once a week. We will be sensitizing the residents based on the fact that it will encourage us to reduce our solid waste disposal.
We are taking up the plastic bottles, which we call the PET bottles, for recycling. So what we do, we separate them from the regular garbage in order to have the community be in a better environment. We have collections at the primary school, the Valentine Town Primary School, at 17 Montego Street, at the fire station, and Arcot Road for now, but we are enlightening the rest of the community people about this project. It will help the community in a vibrant way because less garbage, less bottles being around, seeing that we have the Zika virus around, this will also help to decrease the mosquito-borne disease being harbored around.
I think it is a phenomenal first step in the right direction that Jamaica needs to go, engaging the community. Recycling Partners, as you know, fully endorses the program. And as we mentioned, we will continue once your test period is done. We are committed to continue cleaning up those neighborhoods and collecting the bottles. And we'll also use it as a test pilot for other communities that we are hoping to bring on board.
Waste separation is the way forward, and the NSWMA, through our partners, is working to make this a way of life for all.
A mother's love knows no bounds. Coming up, a look at a special relationship between a mother and her son.
Meet Alex Fraser. He's a 10-year-old student of Dunrobin Primary School in Kingston. He's just like most other boys his age. He loves to play football, hang out with his friends, and play computer games. The only major difference, he cannot walk like most other boys his age. Alex was born with spina bifida, a condition where a baby's neural tube fails to develop normally, causing damage to the spinal cord and bones of the spine. Alex's mother, Tamara Brown, has 3 other children, all of whom have no birth defects. But from Alex's birth, Tamara was determined that he would be given the same opportunities.
I want Alex to have a good education. No matter if anything happened to me tomorrow, I want him to have a good education. Can't complain, the children, the teachers, love him a lot.
It's fun having Alex around, even though sometimes it's like he's not even there. He's so quiet, he's so obedient, and he gets along well with his peers.
Parenting a child with disabilities like Alex's takes extra special loving care.
I have to make sure, go to school, eat, because Alex is a very sick child. Alex have high blood pressure, he has a kidney problem, so I have to take antibiotic every day, I have to take mineral oil every day.
It means Tamara has to be at school with Alex for the entire school day on many occasions, as there are times when he doesn't have an assigned special needs assistant.
We're always here for Alex's mom and for Alex. She has been a strong parent though, doesn't complain a lot, but we have been there in support, maybe for lunch or any advice that she need. So she has been a great parent. Alex's mother, she never gives up. She really wants the best for her child, and she should be commended for actually fighting to get the best in life for Alex. And we're happy he's a part of us.
I would like to work with computer and I grew up.
Antonika Gunter-Gale, Director of the Early Stimulation Program in the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, works closely with parents of children like Alex, especially in the early stages.
Parents, guardians, caregivers of children with disabilities face a number of issues. Financial, is one of them. When you take, for instance, sometimes a child with special needs go beyond the years of using diapers, they have to take soft food. So that means, the blending, the buying of certain food items, So there are a number of challenges. Medication, you think about appointments. The child needs to go to the hearing, specialist. The child needs to go to the audiology. The child needs to go to various appointments. And it does take cash, to care on the part of the parent for persons who don't understand that this is a child with special needs and the child, act up in the public, screaming, shouting, hyperactive, a child with autism, very antisocial, not getting on like his peers. These things can really cause much stress to the parents of children with disabilities.
But you might ask, how can a regular parent afford all these expenses? And are there any existing support programs for parents of children with disabilities?
There are a number of support through the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, under which this program falls, the Early Stimulation Program. A mother, guardian, who really cannot find the wherewithal to care, you have support in terms of intervention. You have financial assistance in terms of a rehabilitation grant that is offered through the ministry for parents or guardians of children with special needs. You have the Jamaica Council for persons with disabilities that also offer support and financial assistance for, starting up your own business, advice, and, that sort of a thing. So there are a number of areas. We have the PAT program that assists with adaptive aids, such as hearing aids, walkers, wheelchairs, medication.
For parents who, like Tamara Brown, are unable to maintain regular jobs as a result of having to be with their disabled children at home or school, the Early Stimulation Program guides them to numerous entrepreneurship opportunities.
We have parents, for example, a simple thing as making soaps, different soaps, putting together, soaps that is tested and passed, approved through the Bureau of Standards, selling soaps. So we have mothers doing phone cards. We have parents doing their little craft at home, rearing chickens at home, doing eggs, So there are a number of areas while taking care of the child at home, the parent could do.
For more information, you may contact the Early Stimulation Program at 95 Hanover Street, Kingston. Call them at 922-5585. Children with special needs need extra special parents.
Today, as we celebrate the gift of love, let us now take a look at two couples who have maintained a loving relationship through the years.
Since a very long time ago, people have searched for the meaning of love. But even the great philosophers with their profound definitions could not fully touch its true essence. Love, it seems, boils down to one thing: a choice.
Well, love is a very complex, affective state. Ranges from the generic love that we talk, or you might say you love a good meal, and then you go to the other side where you love for your girlfriend or boyfriend, and then you go to being dedicated to take care of someone. So you have a whole range of what is called love.
It is important that love is displayed at home, as the home is the hand that rocks the cradle. A healthy, loving family will create a healthy, loving community. A healthy, loving community will create a loving Jamaica, and by extension, a loving world. We continue to look at the Beatitudes of Love with Patrick and Nicola, Othniel and Sharon.
Attention equal love. You cannot love somebody unless you give them the attention.
Taking time out for each other is important. You understand? Because if you are not careful, you'll work yourself to a frazzle. The kids will come down, the kids will just take up all your time, and you are so swamped, as it were, or overwhelmed that you don't even have time to even scratch your head. But you have to realize that, hey, time out. Time out now. Time out is we time, or me time.
Us time.
Yeah, us time.
I see marriage and a relationship is a commitment, is a conscious decision, because this will go at some point, to be honest with you.
Get fat.
And this will go, and you have to understand, no, it is the conscious decision that you make, and you don't want to go back on your word. Yes, on the road you will see somebody that, look better than Nikki, but you have to you have to go back to the point. I made a decision and I have to stand by it.
Oh, I will stay with you through the ups and the downs.
If I come home in the evening, at all, I don't have to be wondering when they don't come home yet. You understand? Or take up phone. Where you there? You don't know, say 10 o'clock now, what happened? No, I think I'm blessed. I don't have that problem. And so I really have to give God thanks for that. Every move that he makes, I'm sure, and you know, he'll call it a Sean, X, Y, or Z. Maybe I'm here, I'm there. Same for me. If I'm not coming home, or if I'm coming home late, I'll call. So he knows where I'm at, and that is so important.
Ooh, this feels so crazy. Oh, this love is blazing.
It has its challenges, but like everything else, you know, it will happen, but it's how you deal with it that is going to determine the outcome.
So high, so high.
Don't just give up on life and give up on your relationship. Fight for it.
Yeah.
You know, because it's worth having.
Yeah.
You know, if it is a good one, and it must have been a good one, or she wouldn't go in it in the first place. So.
Nobody gonna get their way all the time, and you always have to be compromising in any sort of interpersonal relationship.
We'll see the sun is not so far, and we can't.
What people fail to understand, and I think is a mistake, oh, she's now my wife, I have her for life, and that's it. You still have to work at it to keep it alive, you know? You have to work, you have to fertilize the thing and fix it up because you want it to bloom. You want to say when you come home, you say, wow. So for example, I would want her to look a certain way. I ensure that she have the things to look a certain way. So you would buy the dress, you would buy the makeup, you would buy whatever it is to cause her to look that way. Yes, you are.
Well, I look for somebody who looks for the best interest in you, who wants to bring out your potential, and at the same time can be relational, understand who you are, and find you. So they don't build standards that are unreachable, but understand where you're coming from and help you to become a better person.
Sensitive, caring person.
Somebody that you can relate to, they can relate to you, and somebody you love.
What I look for in a partner mainly is loyalty.
Loyalty, trust, commitment.
I think love is very important. I think one word like just taking the time out of the day to just tell somebody you love them. They could be going through something you don't even know. I think love is something that's really important. Loyalty.
First, I think that you have to love God, because God is love. And then you will know how to love others.
This brings us to the close of Jamaica Magazine for today. Keep informed on the happenings in Jamaica by visiting our website at jis.gov.jm, and do stay connected with us on our various social media platforms. I am Theodore Henry. Join us on this station same time tomorrow for another Jamaica Magazine feature.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.